Hi, I'm Dana and this is Otis, and I think he's probably going to be with us today because I'm filming at a different time to what I normally do, so it's his routine that he's normally sat with me around this time because I'm not normally filming. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about autistic masking because I've gotten a lot of comments over my years of doing this letting me know that I'm a really high masking autistic person, so I should be fine to just like go out into the world and socialise and get a job and do everything that everyone else can do because I can just mask my way through it, duh. And it's funny to me because I'm not that type of high masker whatsoever, and I want to do a little disclaimer because I feel like this is one of the topics where it's slightly more difficult to speak of things like exclusively from my experience. So I do feel like I'm going to do a little bit more comparison than I usually do because I think my experience is a little bit different from not even a lot of people's. I think it's just that as autistic people, we all have different experiences and some of us can like sort of link up and have had similar ones. And this is the type of thing that isn't going to affect as much of the autistic community, I don't think. But it's something that very much affects me, and I think other people, some people will relate to it and some people won't, essentially. But I'm very much not trying to put across like that anything's better or worse. You know, it's purely that it's different. Like, I don't think that it's better. I don't think, like, everything has its own little like list of pros and cons, and I'm not trying to be like my experience is so much difficult than the other autistic people's. I just think some of us are having a different experience one way or another when it comes to this. God, I'm stopping rambling about that now. We're getting to the actual video. Okay, so one of the things that made me initially think that I was autistic was finding out about autistic masking and being like, oh my god, this is me. Because in social situations that I am stressed and uncomfortable about, which is most of them, I'm not me whatsoever. And to this day, I don't really know if it's more dissociation and something like that combined with autistic masking, but I know that the base of it is autistic masking because it's in social situations and situations where I need to mask. And one of two things will happen. One is, and this is why I think it ties into dissociation, because I will be in the back of my head. Like when I'm talking to you now, I'm looking out my eyes and I'm looking out from here. Like that's how this works. I'm that person. I live in this body and I see you from here. When I'm in a situation where I can feel that I am masking, and I don't always know I'm fucking doing it until afterwards either, but I'm back here. I'm seeing from back here. And it's not like tunnel vision. It's not like my actual vision is affected. It's just that the place where my consciousness is further back in my head. I'm not at the forefront. I'm not processing things in real time. Like, nothing's actually different. Like I say, it's not tunnel vision. Nothing's gone blurry. Nothing's echoey. It's not the way you see it in TV shows. It's not like that. But I am further back in my consciousness. And as things are happening, my mouth is saying the words and my body is reacting. I'm giving people hugs as they come in for it, and I'm shaking people's hands and I'm doing the stuff that I need to do to get through the social situation, and I'm not a fucking part of it. Like, I'm not making the conscious decision of I'm going to hug this person now and oh, we're shaking hands and I'm going to get a drink and I'm going to say this and we're doing this. Like, I don't feel like I have any sort of control of it. I feel like I have positioned myself further back into my head. Some other consciousness is dealing with like the doing things, and it's full autopilot. I'm just doing what I think it is that I'm supposed to do in this situation. And it's not even like what I think it is I'm supposed to do, because I ain't thinking. There is no thoughts happening beyond like, that's really loud, that's really bright. What was that? What's that smell? Have I done this properly? Why did I say that? Like that's all that's happening in my head, because it feels like someone else is in control of my body and my actual like speech and all of that. Like, it's bizarre. It feels horrible. And I've spent like my entire life being like, what is wrong with me? Why does that happen? And especially when it came to like, I would have situations with friends where they would be like, why did you do this thing? And I'd be like, I have no fucking idea. And they'd be like, so you're lying? And I'd be like, no, I did it. I absolutely did the thing that you're upset or mad about. Like, I 100% did. I'm really sorry. I don't know why I did it. There was no thought process behind it. There was no intention behind it. It was quite simply the social interaction was happening. I did or said the thing because it felt like the right thing to do in the fucking moment. And it wasn't, and I'm sorry. There was no thought or intention or like, if I do this, this will happen. It's purely, I am masked to fuck, and I'm just doing what needs to be done to get through this social interaction, and then I'm gonna have this like whole thing when I get home where I'm like, who am I? Why do I behave like this? Why do I do these things? What is happening to me? I don't feel like I'm in control of myself as a person. I don't understand it, and it's quite frankly literally scary. So reading up about autistic masking and being like, oh, I think it's that, was a big fucking thing for me. But the thing with that, and where I think it varies from like the experience of being high masking that I see a lot of people talk about, is that a lot of people seem to be able, like, especially the people that got through school and got through like college and university and went on to have jobs and are high masking within workplaces and things like that. I can't mask in this way that is believable, you know? Like, I can mask in a way that gets me through the social interaction. I'm not making people think that I'm likeable. I'm not having people think that I'm like normal. Like, people can very much tell there is something fucking off about me. There is something that's not quite right. They can tell that I'm anxious. They can tell that, like, I can't do this like fake it till you make it, pretend everything's fine. Like, I'm trying with all of my might. I am masking as hard as I possibly can. I'm still not coming across like a normal, grounded, typical person. Like, I'm just fucking not, and I can't do it. And that's the thing where like, and that's why, like I say, I don't think that it's like better or worse than the people who are able to mask in a way where they can like be accepted into those situations. And obviously, like, even if you can do that, there's got to be issues later down, because you are still autistic. You can mask so much of it. You might be able to mask in a way that makes people initially be like, ooh, you know, like they think whatever. You're still going to be autistic. It's still going to come out at some point. Like, I very much don't want to put across a like better or worse, but I also would have, like, there's so many situations that I would have found a lot easier if I could mask in a way that makes me like likeable and fit in. You know, one of the big things is fucking fitting in, because I pretended to be a different person for the entirety of high school. Like, I had like a few people throughout my life that I could be myself with, and that I really appreciated, and that was really lovely. But for the most part, I spent, especially high school, crafting these personalities and masking like 24/7, trying desperately to become someone that was likeable. And it just didn't fucking work, you know? Like, it never worked. And I see other people talking about how they masked through high school so that they were popular and they had friends and they did this and that. And like I said, I don't think it's better or worse, but that is exactly what I was trying to do. And it never fucking worked. You know, and it is the kind of thing where like, it holds me back in life. If I could mask enough to be like likeable and come across as capable in a job interview, I'd probably have a fucking job, you know? And sure, I don't think I'd be able to fucking last it. I would eventually burn out. I would, you know, it would be a whole new kettle of fish. But it would be a step. But again, it's just a new kettle of fish. It's just new issues that arise from that then. But that's the thing, is like, I just feel so incapable in the majority of situations because I can't mask. And like, it often comes up in these conversations that everyone masks to some degree. Everyone that's doing like a customer facing role, everyone that, like, most people are masking to some degree in their jobs, autistic or not. And it's like, okay, but I can't do the mask to seem like a person before then having to add the stuff to be able to do the thing, you know? Like, there's all these elements that I just don't have the capability of. I don't know how to pretend to be anything but I'm not, like, that I'm not, you know? And there's a level of a mask that I can do intentionally, you know, like there's a level of a mask that I do for YouTube, and I think that I get the comments telling me how like authentic and stuff I am, because you can tell that like it's not a mask that's fake. It's not this like big mask. It's still little old me, but I'm gonna speak in a way that's a little bit more interesting and make some like better facial expressions and just be a bit more dramatic, because that's interesting to watch. This isn't how it kind of is how I am in conversation, to be honest. I don't really understand what people like or how people are supposed to behave, so I just sort of, this is how I am, and I don't know what the fuck else I'm meant to do. And I try really hard to do other things and be other people sometimes, and it just don't fucking work. So I think that's all I have to say about like that element of things. But there's also the thing of like, sure, it's social interactions and job interviews and doing new things and reaching out for support, and you need to appear a certain way, and if you do this, people will think this and all of that. Like, that's a whole thing. But also, I masked every single day of my life for a really fucking long time. For anyone that's new, which I don't think most people are, but in case, I was quite abused and neglected as a child. So I moved out at 16 with my 21-year-old boyfriend, who then was financially and emotionally abusive for the next 8 years. And I've been sort of like trying to figure things out and rebuild myself since. So for a long time, it was the thing of like waking up, be the person that my boyfriend wants me to be, and be all like, I'm awake at 7:30 a.m. and I'm going to hoover and do the dishes. Here's your packed lunch, honey. And then I'm gonna have like 3 hours of sitting here and be like, God, I hate my fucking life. How am I doing this? What? I need to find the energy to get on with the rest of my goddamn day. And then I'd go up to my mum's house and be like, hi mum, how are you today? Oh, my brother needs me to help him pick up an engine and take it through the house and do all this random shit. Yeah, let's get on with it. Oh, you've done me a meal of things that you know that I don't like to eat. Oh, I love you so much, mum, this is great. And I'd go home and be like, oh my God, I hate my family. Why am I doing this? Why do I have to go and see them? Oh, this sucks. This is so bad. Oh my God. Oh, my boyfriend's about to come home from work. Okay. Hi honey, how are you? Here's your dinner. Oh, you don't like your dinner and now you're going to shout at me for a few hours. And you've noticed that I didn't get the washing done today. Now you're going to shout at me for longer. Oh, and now you're crying and telling me how sorry you are that you shout at me so often, that you're so horrible. And you know that I'm actually trying my best, so I'm going to have to sit here now and tell you how I know that you're trying your best too, and you don't mean to be like this with me. It's just that I'm so difficult and horrible to be around that you can't help it. And then I'm going to go to bed and then we're going to wake up tomorrow and start it all over again. You know, like, no fucking wonder I couldn't think about anything or focus on like having a life or being a person when my entire life was masking for those people. I didn't even realise it. I really was like, you have to be nice to people. Of course, it's a little bit completely fucking exhausting and I don't feel like I can do anything else with my life except make these people happy and clean my house. And that's where like I did eventually realise that was intentional masking, where I was like putting on the persona. Like I was sitting there for literally hours doing nothing, getting ready to put it back on. Like that's the thing, it wasn't doing nothing. I was fucking recovering from the last few hours. And like that's how my day was structured for like 8 years, was do it for my boyfriend, have my little break and recuperate, do it for my mum, have my little break and recuperate, back to the fucking boyfriend. Like it was exhausting. And it's one of those things that I have sort of like almost an internal battle around, I suppose, because they were roles where like I was essentially those people's carer, you know? Like, I was very much looking after my boyfriend. I was cooking all his meals and washing all his clothes and keeping the house nice and doing what the fuck he told me to. And again, I would go up to my mum's house and there would be something they needed help with and this and that. And especially later on when she was, you know, diagnosed with cancer and all that, like there was a lot of like caring to be done. And I'd cared for my dad as he was dying. And I spent a lot of time around my nan until we went no contact with her. So to my family, like I was constantly being asked why I wasn't getting into like carer jobs and working at a care home or an old people's home or something, because I'm just the most patient, calm and lovely person on the planet. And it's this tie of like, if someone's ill, whether I like them or not, which with my family I quite often didn't, you're not well and you need to be bathed, you need to be fed, you need this and that. No one else is here to do it. I don't think anyone deserves to be like left sat in their own shit. I don't think someone should be left to go hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna do the thing for them. And if I'm now having to like bathe my grandmother, she's embarrassed. Like it's not a fucking nice situation to be in. Yes, on a personal level, I would like to be like, can you just be quiet so that I can bath you and put you back to fucking bed? I don't want to have to focus on this situation. I don't want to have to think about the fact that I'm doing this. I want to just zone out, get it done, put you fucking back. That's horrible. I would feel horrible if someone was like that, which like, that's how my parents often were. And I think that's probably why like my initial reaction and my first thought of how to behave is to be like very dismissive and very like, just fucking do it. Because that's how my parents treated me. But I wouldn't want to be treated like that. So obviously when it came to those situations, I was like, it's all good, it's all okay. We've all got a body, everyone's body ages. I'm gonna need someone to do this for me one day. Like, it's all fine, let's get you in that bath. What kind of scent do you want? Do you like the smell of this? Oh, that's getting frothy, isn't it? You know, make it fun, make it nice, make it not awkward and weird, because like, it needs to be done. And it's one of those things where like, that's the heaviest mask that I put on. That was the hardest mask that there was to put on. Like going to my dad's house and opening up his fucking fridge and being like, all you have is cream cakes and Rustler burgers. Do you want me to go to the shop for you? That's all you're going to eat? And you're exclusively drinking cheap Diet Coke. That's your entire diet is Rustler burgers, cream cakes and Diet Coke. Okay, well, I'm going to have to gentle parent my father into eating a poached egg. You know, like, sorry, my storage went. It's probably a more fucked up angle. I'm doing my best and there's not much of the video left, okay? So yeah, the like care work persona that I can mask with when I need to is the one that I find to be the most fake. It's by far my most fake fucking personality. In my head, I'm so annoyed at the person. I'm so pissed off that I need to care for them. Especially when it's people like my dad or my nan where I'm like, when the fuck were you doing this for me? Well, when were you doing this for me? You weren't, were you? You were fucking, like, not so much with my dad, but especially with my nan. It's like, you were fucking nasty to me and now I'm having to wash your hair gently for you. Like, phew. Like, internally, I'm so pissed off. I'm not going to show that. Like, it's already such, like, a horrible situation for them to be in. And sure, I think, like, maybe to a point, like, especially with my nana and, like, other people in my life, like, they sort of fucking deserved it, to be honest with you. I can't imagine how bad I would feel in the long run if I'd reacted in the way that I felt, you know? Like, at any point, like there was a point where I'd cooked my nan a meal and we'd been, like, scrapping all day. My nan was, no one's ever boiled my blood like my nana did. Like, I'd be pushing her around Asda and she'd literally, like, just be like, oh, don't hurt me again. Oh, don't hit me. And I was like 18 with blue hair and like quite big and people would be like looking at me like I was this, like, beating this little frail old woman. Like, it was, oh, it was a whole thing. And she was like that all the fucking time. So I'd made her this meal and she looked at it and she went, I don't like peas. And I was like, yeah, you do. I've made you peas before. But she just tipped it off the fucking little, like, dinner tray thing that she had next to her chair. And she was like, oh no, my dinner. And I was just like, is this for real? Is this for fucking real? So I picked it all up and I sat down to eat my dinner and I was like, as I had like the first forkful up to my mouth, she was like, well, what am I going to eat? What I wanted to do was pick up the tray that I was eating off, throw that on the floor like she had with hers and be like, fucking eat that. Fucking have a go at that. I've just picked your fucking dinner up. I'm hungry. You can have that. I'm gonna fuck off. And instead I was like, well, do you like beans on toast? Do you want beans on toast? You're happy with that? You're gonna be okay if you have beans on toast. I'm gonna go make you some beans on toast. And I left my dinner and I went and made her beans on toast and I came back and ate my cold fucking dinner. So it's this thing of, like, it feels like my fakest mask by far because it is so misaligned with the way that I feel on the inside in those situations. But I also, the alternative is being fucking horrible and I can't deal with that weighing on my conscience. Like, I'm such a guilty person. Even if I do something without the intention of someone getting hurt or upset or whatever and it still happens, the guilt that I feel is immense. Like, when I was probably like 5 or 6, the spray sweets that you could spray into your mouth to get some flavour, they'd become the new big thing. So I'd had like several of them. And then I was like really big into my potions phase. So I got another one that I'd filled, like the empty bottle that I'd filled with like perfume and shampoo and just like bits out of the bathroom. And I had some sort of like concocted story of it being like fairy dust or some shit. So I'd been taking it around the house and just like spraying it. And then at some point my mum saw it and she sprayed it into her mouth and she was like, oh damn, these sweets are horrible. I don't know why you're getting them. I never even told her. I never even told her that it wasn't actually the sweets. And I still feel bad about it. Oh, I should have given her some of the sweets, man. Like, I still feel genuinely bad about that. And it's shocking to me because I don't feel that bad about it. But for years I felt like deep guilt about it. Like, it really doesn't need to be that big a deal or that much my fault or whatever else for me to feel like an immense amount of guilt for having allowed it to happen. So there's a lot of things that I've done and ways that, like, my masked me reacts because I know that I won't be able to deal with how I feel if I don't, you know? But yeah, to just sort of like round up, I suppose, I feel like I've rambled a bit more than I intended to for this video, so you might see one that's like a very similar topic pop up again, to be honest with you, as I remember things I intended to say. But yeah, my mask has just always felt for the in important situations, it feels very unintentional and like I don't have any control over it whatsoever. And in situations where I'd probably be quite valid to be a bit of a bitch, to be honest with you, I can't be, and the mask falls on in a way where like I just turn into the most people-pleasing, happy to do whatever you need. I will fawn over you and just tell me what you want or need, and I will make sure it happens whether I want to or not. And I don't enjoy any of it. And I also just wish that I could mask in a way that's actually conductive to helping me in my life. Like I've said with my several disclaimers though, it's the grass is always greener, isn't it? You know, like I'm sure if I was talking to someone that can mask like on command really well, go to university, be a doctor, like kind of masking, they'd probably be like, oh, so you just are yourself most of the time? And I'd be like, yeah, can't make it stop happening. I'm just me all the time. But I also I remember how much I masked during my teen years and how constantly the question of who I was on my mind and the way like it was so consistent. I was like, I have no idea who I am as a person. And there's a level of like, well, yeah, you were 14, like you were very much still figuring out, weren't you, honey? But there is also a massive level of like, yeah, because I had like an hour and a half at night before I went to bed when I was alone in my room when I actually acted like myself, and the other 22 and a half hours a day I was whoever seemed like that's the thing, it wasn't even like a persona or a good mask, like it was just inauthentic and people could tell. Yeah, I've sat here in silence for like a good minute and a half now, so I'm gonna round it up. Like I mean I just did round it up, I just need to do an outro, don't I? Do people even still do outros? Like when I watch other YouTubers, I don't feel like anyone does intros or outros anymore, but I like my intro and outro. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram or Blue Sky if you want to. I'm getting somewhat close to being monetized on TikTok. Like I'm getting more than enough views and likes, and I only need like I only need like 3,000 more followers there until I can make money from TikTok. So if you've ever considered following me on TikTok, please do. You don't have to, it's fine, but you can. I also have Ko-fi and Patreon if you would like to find me there. And you can like and subscribe here. I make content about autism and family abuse and estrangement and no contact stuff, and sometimes the two get a little bit mixed together like in this one. And yeah, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.